Hello and welcome to my tourist trap. I am Zero and this is my Prometheus Mk4 submarine. We're going to start up here first. This right here is the airlock. This is a great place where you can trap all your friends, open up this big banger of a door, and watch them get sucked out into the sea and die. Right, this spot right here that's currently highlighted is where the hammer torpedoes go. These are the three spots that they're basically spawned in, but they get sucked right into these little capsules where you can basically launch them later using this switch. Provided this door is open, you can then launch with this button. This right here is the E.S.S turret. Nope, the little turret right here. When it sees an enemy, this light lights up, it shines a flashlight on them, and then begins to spray and pray this entire area with bullets. It does a lot of damage to the sub, as well as the enemies in front of it. Next, going back, here is the gun deck. This is where all the ammunition is stored for the guns, the capacitors for the guns, and the periscopes, also for the guns, which you can see on the outside of the hull, located here, here, these two spots, and these two spots. These are actually twin-linked guns. One person fires two guns. They also have a higher rate of fire, so they tend to burn through ammo rapidly, whether you like it or not. Going even further back, we have the reactor room. The reactor is linked up to show you how much fuel is currently inside of it, and over here it actually shows you the power of the reactor. Up top, you might not be able to tell, but it's actually hooked up to, in case of fire, alert you, and flood this entire room with water. Back here is the engines. These are the two main engines. There are actually two more engines. This spot right here tells you the condition of the engines, your current speed for your submarine, and this actually lights up a handy little indicator that tells you how much your max speed is and shows you if you're turbocharging. This light starts flashing if the captain has turned the turbocharge on. Two smaller engines are located here and here. They cannot be broken, and they are not very fast. They also do use power, so watch out. Down here in this bottom part of the submarine, we have our storage containers, as well as a few diving suit spots, and the oxygen and research lab on this floor right here. To our right is the ballast tank. As you can see, it's turned into rusty crap because it's always full of water. It constantly leaks, but there's a sign right here that tells you if it's safe or not to go in. If the water goes too high, it's no longer considered safe to open this door. There's a sign right here warning you to suit up before you go in. Why? If the captain decides to go down, this floods with water all the way to the top, and you may die. Okay? If you like it. Up here is the cabin quarters. This is where the cabins are located, between a jukebox, random storage, a guitar, and all sorts of other little nifty pieces. This is where people can go to sleep to get small amounts of health back. It's not super useful, but right below it is the spot that is. The medical bay. This is where people go for medical. If they need actual help, the medics are here on standby to save their lives. Or inject them with eggs. You may die. That's up to the medics. This is the lounge. This is where you lounge. As you notice, the lounge is quite sparse, with lots of packing crates laying around. That's probably because this place was never properly outfitted to be a lounge. It's a transport ship. It just doesn't transport people. Next up is the junction boxes. There is a lot of them. They burn out quickly. There is also batteries. There is quite a few of them. They are weak. Up above those is my favorite spot, Lud's gun store, where most of the guns are actually packed up. You'll like it, I swear. And the top of the ship is yet another storage area. This one's slightly different than the bottom one, though, because it's actually where the deconstructor basically deconstructs stuff, as well as the dock, which also tells you on this sub-map here if it's docked or not. It also turns a very pretty shade of green. And then, the captain's quarters, aka the command station. This lets you know that that is where the entrance is. This is writing on the wall. Over here, that's right, is a depth charge. This is where you load depth charges. This button is where you activate them. They'll drop down. This thing that says C on it is a periscope for 4 cameras, one on each side of the submarine. You'll also find another periscope right here. It's located on the front side of the captain's quarters, and it attaches to this singular coil gun. And that's it. You'll love it. It shows you if there's a meltdown, if you're docked, if your reactor's about to explode, if the airlock's open, your depth, your charge percentages for different weapons, if your battery's charging, your current speed. There's a lot of little nifty things about this ship. There's also a lot of horrifying elements that you may not like. It has icebreaker cannons that fire out of these holes. That sounds good when you're hitting the button, but you can't aim them, and only the captain can fire them. And it does not protect you from any other side. There is no guns that face the rear. There is one discharge coil to protect it. If enemies attack you from the rear, there's a lot of jokes you can make about that. The front is also not well protected. It has 4 flak cannons to protect it. These flak cannons have a very bad habit of ripping through the armor when they hit enemies at close range. This door does not take a lot of damage before it breaks. If it breaks, well, they're getting in through the front. And that turret is the only thing going to protect you. It's automated. It will shoot you to death too. Luckily for you though, it has an IFF system that only targets enemies. But if it targets an enemy, and you're in between it, you are now its enemy as well. This button allows you to open the door from the outside in case someone locked you out. It can be accessed by husks, but I don't often see them use it. Once you flip this switch, these arrows act as a sort of timer to tell you to get over here, get down, and get out before this latch locks. Once this door is open and the room floods halfway with water, this locks you in. You can hit one of these buttons to emergency open the door for a short period of time, and then it re-locks. Don't get locked in here if you do not have a suit. There are storage containers to help you out. It is not a guarantee that you will survive. Okay? Right here's the middle of the ship to let you go up and down to get back and forth to each room. They are also labeled, as you can see. The labeling is not the best in the world and is actually quite easy to get lost. If you ever wonder, can I get lost? The answer is always yes. You can get lost. It is a very dark ship. These lights may look very bright on the outside, but green does not work well in blue water. Trust me when I say they do not light the area up around you very well. It's purposefully made like that to keep you relatively blind when trying to shoot targets. Remember, this is a transport ship. You are supposed to be hauling things in your transport ship from point A to point B. You are not a battle cruiser. You are not killing everything that gets near you. The good news is, these hammer torpedoes can very much kill anything they hit. The bad news is, they do have a habit of getting stuck when they launch, and if anyone is near them when they arm themselves, you will lose the front half of the ship. It will explode and you will die. Also, they are not aimed. When you hit the switch, open the door, and hit the launch button, it fires 1 torpedo. So you better be very careful. If there's a ship or a monster right here in front of you, you have 1.5 seconds armed before it explodes. That's about here. I've tested and measured this. If it's here and it goes off, you lose this. And you don't want to do that. Anyhow, enjoy my submarine. Prometheus Mk4.